Greetings, fellow visitors. This is Upgrade Terminal, a Star of Providence fan cast. I'm Malachi.
And I'm Nick. Welcome back to the facility.
So this week we are featuring another piece of fan writing, this time by my co-host, Nick.
Hello!
Nick wrote a piece called A Cup of Lethality that we're going to discuss, and here to discuss this piece with us is fan artist extraordinaire, friend of the show, WHATiFGirl.
Hey. Hi.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we haven't had you since the first episode of Season 2, which was back in February.
God, that's been long. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's like eight months, I think. But it,
Oh my God, 8 months. Holy shit.
yeah, and that was such a fun time because we all got together and nerded out over the update.
Oh yeah.
As Nick smiled and steepled his fingers in the corner, like, "Oh, just wait."
Well, I think I've said many times by now that there was a lot of stuff that even we didn't know about at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ARG thing, we were not privy to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was then, and now we're going to be talking about a little bit of fan writing. We just got done talking about Punishing Burb's first ritual piece, and we're gonna continue on that trend by talking with A Cup of Lethality. But first, usually we like to begin our episodes by talking about something nice that happened to us this week. And Gia, you're our guest, so why don't you lead us off?
Me?
Yes, you.
Gosh. I mean, with the weather getting cold, I guess I've been craving a bit more warmer foods or warmer treats. I literally just baked cookies this week.
Ooh.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Yum.
Very good.
Yeah, I guess the cookies ended up being a bit too oily. I think I used too much butter on it. I tried this method online where instead of just melted butter, you brown your butter. So it gave it this really nice nutty taste.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
It
I love
does.
chocolate chip cookies. I think they're kind of an underrated cookie. Because like, I think a lot of times they're done poorly. You know, like I've had a lot of chocolate chip cookies that don't hit right, but when they're done well, and especially homemade ones, oh, so good.
Mm-hmm. Especially when they're still warm from the oven.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, baking tends to be much more precise. You need to be very strict about following the exact measurements of weight and or volume and time and temperature. It's very specific.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So they were a little too buttery, but you still ate them, right?
Yeah, I mean, somebody has to finish it. I mean, Sib has been helping me. I guess my dad occasionally will eat it, though. Maybe if it's more brownies, then it's gone. It's completely gone before I could take a bite.
I love brownies too. I really do.
We need to have an episode about brownies because I love them too.
How would we tie them back to the game?
We'd make them in Star of Providence shapes.
That's true. That's true.
Honestly, Malachi, it seems like you just want to have a couple of episodes of the podcast that are completely unrelated to the game, and it's just us talking.
Yeah. Well, and eating brownies. I mean, anyway. Well, that's awesome, Gia. It's a good way to kind of kick off the fall.
Mm-hmm. Malachi, why don't you tell us what something has happened to you this week?
So, I have been walking at work recently. There's like, my office is next to a road, and so I was walking down the road and I discovered that not far away there's a nature trail, and there's like really long grass that I can walk next to, and then eventually it leads to some trees, and it goes pretty far out, far enough that the kind of hum of the highway kind of fades away,
Hmm.
and there's quail running around out there. And I've been enjoying the fall colors, of course. And as I walk down the road to get to the nature trail, I put my headphones in and listen to some music. And then once I get far enough away from the road, I'll take out my headphones and kind of listen to
The
nature, as it
quails.
were. Yeah, and it's been super nice. It's
Mm.
like work has kind of slowed down a bit, and it always does this time of year. And so it's really nice that my manager's like, oh yeah, just go take a walk. I
Hmm.
appreciate that. And because it's been keeping me sane. So that's definitely been really nice this week. There are always a couple people walking out there, and what's nice is, whenever you run into someone that's doing the same activity you're doing, there's kind of like this instant, like if they look at you or acknowledge you in any way or you make eye contact, there's like this instant feeling of like, you get me, like there's just like this would always happen when I was biking at university and stuff. Like you see somebody out doing something, it's like, oh hey, yeah, you like biking. So I find that when I'm on a walk, everyone seems very friendly, friendlier than they would be if I like saw them in the supermarket or something. And that's nice too, to just kind of be out walking and pondering and enjoying autumn and saying hello to the other people out there walking. So yeah, that's been the nicest thing for me this week.
That's actually really lovely. It's really nice.
Yeah, fall is my favorite season. It truly is. Like, and I realize that more and more every year. But
Hmm.
when it starts to get chilly and I can get my jackets out and my scarf out and my hat out, yeah, it's the best. Nick, what's something nice that happened to you this week?
So I have like three small things to mention.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so the first one is as I mentioned in the episode where we had H1 data. I've been really enjoying this racing game, this futuristic anti-gravity racing game, and like literally, was it today? Yeah, today I
Mm-hmm.
actually managed to 100% the campaign mode, get all of the medals and everything, do it in expert mode. And I'm just really pleased with myself because I went in a couple of months from being a complete novice who would just like constantly pinball between the two walls of the track because I have no idea how to steer this thing to like, damn, I got all the medals. I feel pretty good about myself, and
Congrats, Nick. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been starting to debate, do I want to get into modding so maybe I can make my own ship with its own model and its own decals, just as kind of like, now I can add my own ship, and in the future maybe add some Star of Providence ships so they can just do laps around the place.
Oh man, that would be cool. If there was a, if I could fly Star Providence ships in that game, I would probably play it.
I would need to learn how to do all of the modeling and texturing and download Unity and learn how to use that first, but yeah, it's possible. Uh, the second thing is similar related in recently, not today, but some days ago
Hmm.
in Balatro, I finally got the Completionist Plus Plus achievement. And for people who know what that entails, it's like, oh god, that's so much. It's like, yeah, you have to do complete full 100%, beat the highest difficulty with every single Joker at some point. It's a
Wow.
lot, but it's like, man, I really love this game. I'm willing to just replay it over and over and over again just to
Hmm.
get every last bit of it.
Wow. When you beat the final, when you finally got that achievement, did you scream Balatro?
No,
No. Oh,
no,
Aw.
well, you could do that right now if you wanted. I mean, better late
Yeah.
than never. No,
no.
that is also really cool.
And finally, and the third thing, and I do want to mention this, a couple of episodes ago, I mentioned how I was really enjoying a lot of music, and I mentioned this album called Pris Corp Virtual Enterprises Home TM, which I mentioned was like, this album was like, oh, like old Windows 95 MIDI tune sort of thing.
Hmm.
Well, we put out the episode, And then one of the members of the Surf Providence Discord, Normal Rachel, was like, yo, I heard music recommendation. That's good. And they recommended me an album to listen to, which
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called Desert Sand Feels Warm at Night,
Mm-hmm.
by an artist whose name I cannot possibly pronounce because it's in Japanese. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just lovely to like talk about music in the show and then get a music recommendation back at me, being like, "Hey, I think you'd like this," and I did enjoy it. It was a mixture of like soothing and melancholy and loneliness, just very vibes ambient. So
Mm-hmm.
shout out Normal Rachel for doing a music recommendation. Very cool of you.
Yeah. Can I tell you a secret?
What?
I listened to it too.
Oh, did you like
Yeah,
it?
I did. Yeah, the band is called New World Disciples.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
New World Disciples. You can find them on Spotify and Apple Music too. But yeah, the
Hmm.
album is Desert Sand Feels Warm at Night.
Hmm.
And it was a great recommendation. So thanks, Normal Rachel.
Thank you very much.
Not so normal after all. Pretty cool. As we mentioned at the top, we're going to be talking about Nick's piece. So here's where we play it for you. And we will be there to discuss it on the other side. So without further ado, we present A Cup of Lethality by Nick.
A Cup of Lethality. Most people would consider putting a coffee machine in the cockpit of a tightly engineered, finely crafted, invasion-fighting ship at best dubious, at worst wasteful and irreverent. But when you're one of the absolute best pilots on the entire planet, you can pull some strings and leverage a bit of clout to keep it off the books. There was not a lot of space inside the cockpit, amongst all the panels and the wiring, to accommodate much in the way of comfort and luxury, so when Null had an opportunity to sneak in one unofficial addition, she settled for a humble but very much appreciated brewing apparatus. It was sufficiently compact, leaving enough room to store a handful of bags, and was even possible to harness some of the ship's inherent heat to make some cups. The ship was resting in the hangar. Null was scheduled to depart in 15 minutes and had been assigned to investigate the area around the abandoned facility, with the twin spires ominously pointing towards the stars. As she went over the mission in her head, she was starting to try and consider every outcome, the possibilities, the contingencies, the dangers, the risks, the threats lying in wait, her thoughts spinning in circles. But she had enough time, she figured, to calm her nerves with her favorite drink. She leaned over to the side and opened a tiny panel with the label Human Fuel on it. Thankfully, she'd remembered to stock up on all 3 variants of her favorite Verheyen coffee, different brews for different occasions. What was she in the mood for this time? Mild? Intense? Or...
Mild. She settled for the most relaxed of the 3 blends. This was one that she'd often showered her fellow elite pilots whenever they needed a gentle boost. This one made for a pleasant, tranquil state of mind, perfect for a lengthy mission and staying calm in bad encounters. The Owl Brewing program took care of everything else while Null took care of a few pre-takeoff checks. After a few minutes, the coffee was ready. A tiny pop-up appeared on her main screen to notify her, accompanied by a soft ding. The drink rested in her standard issue cup. Not her favorite cup. She liked it too much to risk damaging it whenever the ship suffered any impact. And then Null gently clasped it between her hands, taking small sips as the engineering crew in the hangar started to prepare everything for takeoff. The coffee brought familiar memories to her mind, talking with fellow pilots, hanging out at the night with D-13, and flying above the clouds during sunset. With every sip, the nerves disappeared in a slightly sweet blend, giving her the calm she needed. When it was over and she was feeling satisfied, she put the empty cup back to its resting spot beneath the machine, closed the panel, and started firing all the ship's systems. With the courage of caffeine in her veins, the ship gracefully emerged from the hangar and flew to the horizon, feeling ready to complete the job.
Intense. Tonight, she needed something a little bit stronger, with a bit more of a solid boost. If she couldn't calm her nerves, then at least she could face it with some enthusiasm. This one wasn't to be shared with those who didn't have a taste for it. After making sure to add the right amount of this particular blend and doing her usual checks, the coffee was ready. Taking the cup in her hand for a few seconds to let it cool slightly, then slowly raising the cup and taking a precautionary sip to not burn herself. It didn't even take more than a handful of minutes before she could feel that slight buzz coming over her. Yep, that was the good stuff. The wakefulness and sharpness, helping her focus and home in on those reflexes and decision-making that had saved her multiple times. But she knew well enough to pace herself. This was a strong coffee that merited respect. Her mind went to all those moments where she needed to pull a stunt or make a critical decision in seconds or fly in a rush to save someone. While it was dangerous, she felt that she made some of her most important decisions in situations like that. And when danger was so commonplace, she often needed to be in that state of mind to pull through. After a few more minutes, the cup was returned to its spot as she turned off the machine and went through all the usual takeoff procedures in a breeze, confidently flying out, ready to take them all on, feeling fully fueled for fighting.
Sudden death. Noel pulled aside the two other blends and pulled the one bag at the far end of the panel. The black bag with bold lettering also brandished a warning label at the front and back. If D13 was here, he'd tell her this was a very bad idea. And he was probably right. But this whole mission was a bad idea. She just had a very bad feeling about this. And in this state of mind, no other blend would do. Thank goodness she'd managed to smuggle this on board and avoid questions. This was a drink that demanded diligently measuring out the water and the exact weight of coffee going in. Dialing in the exact temperature, timing the brewing process to the second, and serving precisely as much as she needed, not a drop more or less, and then immediately turning the machine off and commanding the computer to dump the grounds. As she gingerly grabbed the cup and put it aside, peeking at the dark, steaming liquid, part of her was already regretting this. While it cooled, she absent-mindedly went through the checklist, trying to ignore the hunch in her heart that this mission somehow would end very poorly. Soon enough, she was ready and waiting for the rest of the ground crew to finish, and with trepidation took the coffee cup and gulped it down, mouthful after mouthful until it was empty. The taste was almost vile, bitter in a way that made her tongue curl and her lips frown, especially after she coughed up a bit. After shoving the cup back into its place and tightly shutting the panel, she got a grip on herself while the coffee did its thing. The last time she had this feeling was the night D13 almost died. Panic, anxiety, dread, and fear. Something inside her was telling her that tonight something terrible would happen. She didn't really have any specific or concrete idea as to what would go wrong. It was a nebulous, ill-defined feeling, and it only heightened her nervousness. The technician had barely finished opening the gate and informing Noel before the ship violently blasted out at top speed, the pilot clutching the controls as she tried to control her breathing and concentrate, hoping that the strongest caffeine would dissolve her dread.
That was A Cup of Lethality by Nick.
Yeah. And I want to say thank you to, well, Malachi, Gia, and Seth for providing the narration for those segments. Very much appreciate your help on this.
You're welcome. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's such a, well, okay, as a coffee lover, how could I not love this piece?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nick shared this piece with me quite a few years ago because you first wrote it in 2021.
Yeah.
Or at least that's when you published it.
Yeah. No, I'm not the type of person that writes something and then holds off on it. I'm just like, I wrote it, it's all good to go, boom, post it. So I think it was August 2021.
Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, I read it back then. I liked it. I'm really glad that you let us use it for the podcast. And
Mm-hmm.
I like imagining everything going on in this piece because with a coffee maker in the ship, I think that there are a lot of pros and cons. This was the first thing I thought of because I'm like, wow, that's really cool. I love, like, Noel likes coffee. I love that this like personified version of Noel would have a coffee maker in their ship. But the pros are like coffee whenever you want, obviously. You can make coffee yourself. You can share coffee with others. And the other pro is the cockpit definitely always smells like coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that. The cons, the coffee machine maintenance could get messy, although there is a line in there that says, ask the computer to dump the grounds, which I really like. It's a
Mm-hmm.
great line because it establishes this a very important point. It shows that Nick understands how coffee is made.
Yeah.
But I still think it could get a little messy, and there would definitely be lots of stains, as anyone who drives with a coffee mug will tell you.
Well, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, it's not like no one would make coffee literally at any point. It's like, okay, the way I conceive this, like, okay, the ship is kind of this. I say it's a highly refined piece of engineering that's made
Mhm.
for like flying and combat, and this is an what would you call an unofficial add-on? That's in theory, you're not supposed to have this, but oh well, here it is.
Mhm.
But I would imagine like, okay, there's kind of some kind of safety interlocks of like, okay, if you're like say flying, you can't turn the coffee machine on because what the hell are you doing? Keep your hands on the wheel. You can't just be pilot driving and making coffee at the same time.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it would get messy and all that, but like ships or like crafts in general need maintenance. It's not like cars don't need maintenance and they don't get messy and they don't get stains. It's just part of the vehicle. Like, yeah, you just
Mhm.
gotta clean it every so often. That's just
No,
how it goes.
exactly, which is why I enjoyed kind of imagining that aspect of it as well.
Yeah.
There's also something I want to ask you to explain to the audience, Nick, because I'm not sure everyone picked up on it. But
Mhm.
Wareheim Coffee. This is a very intentional brand name.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
So you're gonna have to like correct me if I get this a little bit wrong because it has been a while since I really thought about it. But for those who don't know, a long time ago, and we did mention this in episode 30, the finale of season one. One of the previous projects that Alex worked on was a forum adventure,
Mm-hmm.
and I think was the forum adventure itself called Verheim, or was it just a place within the forum adventure?
I cannot tell you that, but I think it was the game itself.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was a forum adventure, and then as part of the adventure of the story, there was a game called Handheld, which
Mm-hmm.
is where a lot of things from Temple come from. But
Yes.
Verheim, as a name, is deliberately referencing the old form adventure that Alex made, and then the handheld was Alex and Pure working together.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a very deliberate reference to a previous work from Team D13, which, if you don't know that, it's just a name it might have picked it out of a hat, but it was a very deliberate nod to Team D13. And like, I want to make it very clear here because I know some people go crazy over it. No, I'm not suggesting the two works exist in the same universe. Blah blah blah. It's just a nod and reference. Calm down, people.
Nope, it's too late. I can already hear the conspiracy theorists scribbling furiously into their notebooks.
Oh, good. The Undertale fandom.
Yeah. No, I liked it as a reference because it's a deep cut for us real like, Team D13 sickos.
Hmm.
But also it's just a cool name for coffee, Like outside of that, it's just a cool name. One of the other things I really liked about the piece, um, again, because I love coffee, there are parts of it that activate that part of my brain. Specifically in mild, I really like that the coffee brings back memories of hanging out at night with D13. On the one hand, I love it because yes, like I'm a shipper, right? Yes, absolutely. I
Yes,
love that
yes,
aspect of it. but
yes.
but I also have memories of hanging out with friends at night drinking coffee.
Hmm.
Specifically, a shout out to the Apple Peddler. Doesn't exist anymore in small town Oregon, but I spent many a night there. It was open 24/7, and we would go there on weekends, and it was awesome. But so I think that like anyone who has those kind of memories, and a lot of people do, that part really hits home. And then I think it captures the feel of like a cup of coffee before work. It's really easy to get in the Knowles headspace as you write it in the piece, Nick. For
Hmm.
anyone who's worked a late or early shift, and I really like that aspect of it. So
Well, I'm glad.
yeah, I know you're not a coffee drinker.
Sadly, no.
Hey, no
Coffee's
judgment.
too bitter.
Yeah,
You don't
Coffee's too bitter for me.
you don't have to justify it, but like
yeah.
just because you did not enjoy the coffee aspect of it doesn't mean that there weren't things to enjoy. I hope.
Yeah.
Is there a drink you enjoy in the same way a lot of people enjoy coffee?
Um.
Any tea,
I mean,
orange juice?
I mostly enjoy tea, especially chamomile
Okay,
or
yeah.
some fruity teas.
Hmm.
And surprisingly, there's also hot chocolate tea, which I
Ooh,
tried. I mean, it
hot
it has a
chocolate
smell of,
tea.
yeah.
Oh wow.
It's like or chocolate tea. I
Yeah.
mean, it has a smell like chocolate. It doesn't taste like chocolate, but it's a
Oh,
very pleasant smell.
that sounds lovely. It sounds like you can kind of, it's like the best of both worlds. I can drink it at night and it smells like hot chocolate, but I'm not going to feel guilty for drinking hot chocolate late at night.
Yeah.
Why would you feel guilty about that?
Oh, because it's not as I try not to drink sweet things too late at night.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. Nothing's stopping me.
Do you have any thoughts about the piece itself, Gia?
So something about human fuel that was labeled there was really funny.
Hmm.
That is because it's a tiny line that gives you a glimpse into Null's personality, right? It's a very small thing, but it just tells you, oh, Null kind of has a sense of humor, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love like a small line like that that adds so much characterization.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The way I also thought of it, it was like in the context of like, okay, this belongs to the ship. It's like, well, you're kind of labeling it in such a way that it feels appropriate within the context of a ship.
Hmm.
Because if you have, thrusters, weapons, explosives, coffee, that stands out. Putting
Yeah,
human fuel is a little bit more cohesive with the rest of it.
yeah. Well, and it's supposed to sort of be secretive too, right? Like technically, Null is not supposed to have that in there.
It's not so much secretive as off the books.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's like there is this notion of like, yeah, it's against like protocol, but like it is like, well, Null's good enough that they are kind of allowed a little bit of leniency in that regard.
Hmm. I enjoyed the alliteration.
Hmm.
Nick, I know you're a fan of alliteration. I am as well. So there were quite a few little spots. Courage of caffeine,
Hmm.
feeling fully fueled for fighting,
Hmm.
which I got to read in my part, which I was very happy about. And
Hmm.
at the end, dissolve her dread. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, little things I notice. A
Yeah.
question I have for both of you. To me, reading this piece, it seems like sudden death is the blend. Like, if this were canonical, and I know it's not, but if we were to fit this into the canon of the game, sudden death is definitely the blend Null drinks before they die, right? Or the night they die, which is ironic. Very fitting. It's a fitting title, a fitting name for the coffee, if that's the one they drink before they die. Because in that paragraph, the last time she had this feeling was the night D13 almost died. Panic, anxiety, dread, and fear. Something inside her was telling her that tonight something terrible would happen. Right? Like,
It is ominous
it's
for
very
sure.
ominous.
It's not necessarily saying, "Oh, Null will die," but it's the idea of like Null's going into this with tremendous anxiety and dread. It's a kind of like whatever's going to happen today, it's just going to be awful. It's just going to be terrible. So I'm just going to have whatever is going to help me power through it.
Mhm.
It's in a manner not too dissimilar to like, okay, someone's having an awful day, they're going to get a stiff drink, just like this is going to suck, but I'm just going to chug this down. It's like, okay, well, Null doesn't drink,
Yeah.
they drink coffee. So like, okay, what's the coffee version of that? Just like a potent, powerful, strong, bitter coffee that's like, ah, all right, let's go ahead. Now, maybe in your head you want to say, "Yep, that's the last cup of coffee she has." You can imagine that if you will. It's just kind of like, is it right or is it wrong? It's neither. You can just see it however you wish.
The other thing that bears mentioning is that, these different coffee blends are tied to the difficulties in the game, which I believe is where the idea for this piece came from, right?
Well, the idea was, so obviously the thing that happens a lot is this discussion of like, what would be a diegetic interpretation of game mechanics? You have
Mm-hmm.
things like difficulty, intensity, and all that. So they're just settings that you can choose to alter your experience. It's fun to think, well, what would be a reasonable interpretation of these things existing in universe that are not too much of a stretch?
Yeah.
And like, because uh the icon for intense lethality is literally a mug of coffee, that's where the idea came from. It's like, well, what if it was kind of a reflection of like something that Null consumed, like a cup of coffee, but like different blends kind of represented, either a very easygoing, gentle, but slow kind of endeavor, or a hectic, panic, intense one. So like it was the idea of like trying to sort of say, what would this be like? And what would in lethality be explained diegetically? This is what I came up with, and that seemed like a fun thing to write, so I did.
What if, girl? One of the things I'm secretly hoping right now is that, like, you reading this piece, like, inspires your fan art. And we get
I
some cool
mean,
pieces of Noel and D13 hanging out in a cafe drinking coffee together.
I mean, he has drawn plenty of Donald 13 hanging out already.
yeah, I still want to do other cool things too. But yeah, knowing me and my little ship heart, I will end up just doing more non D13. And
Yeah.
I mean, after hearing oh god, oh god, I forgot their name in the last podcast. Oh no, fishing bird,
Oh,
Punishing
punishing
bird.
bird.
punishing bird. Thank you.
It's actually
I
punishing burb.
punch burb. Yeah, I
Yeah.
only remember the burb part. I'm sorry, punishing
Yeah.
bird. I'm
PB.
I'm PB. I mean, listening to that, it really got like my imagination flowing, like
Mhm.
Mhm.
imagining like the I guess the meeting hall, the discussion,
Yeah.
and fanfics need like fan arts too. And then pretty much I want to draw every fan art for every fan piece. You don't understand. It needs more love. Like seriously, give me more content. Help with the creative juice flowing. I need more stuff. I've been craving for it.
It's a bit of a slim pickings out there for Star of Providence fanfics, as Malachi and I are very aware of.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Gia, you're basically jumping onto the upgrade terminal bandwagon of asking for more fanfics, and hey,
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Mhm.
I mean, again, if no one's going to provide, and they're saying if no one's not going to provide it, sometimes you just have to provide it.
It's true, and that is what led us to this episode. We've also said that many times too. Although I have to ask, what if, girl? Do you know anyone that has like an unfinished Starprov fic that we could talk to? Maybe
I
convince them
don't.
to finish it.
Oh my, I don't. I mean, unless you're aiming that to me.
I am. I don't have to leave that in, but I couldn't resist saying that to
No, no, you can leave that in.
you. I just remember seeing like a little snippet of that piece and be like, "This is so awesome!" But
Ever since the Into Oblivion update, I kind of like took a break, or maybe I just need like inspiration, or literally just play the game just to catch up and everything else.
Hey, totally
Mhm.
understand. So Nick, what do you hope people take away from your piece?
Um, I guess I mentioned this in other episodes. Like I enjoy character interactions, character development,
Mm-hmm.
which is something that Seraph Providence is does not dispense in great quantities. So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of just have to make it up. And I would say part of the reason why I specifically felt Gia would be a good guest for this episode is because, as people have probably figured out by now, we're kind of that's something we both want. We both want character interactions, character development. We want to know who are these people, what are they like, what are their thoughts and their feelings, and how do they relate to one another. You know, like I, she will do it more through fan art, and I will do it more through fan writing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of a very similar desire to just see more of that. You know,
Yeah.
and I think the other, if there is something I do want people to take away from it, is like if you like doing fan writing, if you just like telling a story, it doesn't have to be this grand thing. It doesn't have to be very involved. It doesn't have to be tremendously complex. Like I know after the episodes of Punching Bourbon Coolant, where we talk about like deep lore and like the council and like thousands of years of magic and all that, it can feel overwhelming when you think about, oh, the scale of like the story is enormous. And it's like that might be the case, but you can't just take something of very small, very specific, and be like, I want to make something about this one little corner of the world. I want to explore that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you don't have to concern yourself like how does it fit in with the greater pictures. Like, that's not what the story is about. It's about this moment in time with this character. That's what you're doing. And don't be afraid to explore ideas, and don't feel like you have to take on the entire canon in order
Mm-hmm.
to tell a story. You know,
Yeah.
like even though I am the kind of writer that likes to stick to canon, that's a choice of mine. You don't have to follow that. You know, you
Yeah.
don't. You can make up whatever you want, but like you don't have to take it all of it on. You don't have to acknowledge all of it in your fic. Just do the thing that you like. If you just want to be like, hey, I just want to write what it's like when Null D13, uh,
Kiss.
it's Overlord and Anarchist, all walk into a cafe, and I just want to do that. Just do that. It's fun. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, that's really well said. And I think it's a good point that, you know, I certainly am guilty of this. Like when I hear the word fanfic, I do think of like a big piece, a longer piece, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, it's very freeing to realize, oh, you can just write a small little scene, something tiny, a
Yeah,
moment between two people.
I think because I've been reading fanfics for over 15 years now, I've kind of seen all ends of the spectrum. I've read like I read fanfics that were basically full on novels, at like just straight up novels. Like, oh yeah, this thing has like 30 chapters and
Hmm.
like extensive character arcs and story arcs and like villains coming back and all that. Like I've like basically full on novels. And on the other far end, I've read like Durabbles, which is like 100 words. It's just that. And so I think it was useful for me to have read all of that because it taught me early on there is no right or wrong length for a fanfic. All of it is viable, all of it is possible. The scale of the work itself can be as grand or as minute as you like. So just do it, you know.
Hmm.
And I would encourage people, I see a lot of people out there saying like, "Oh, but I can't draw and I can't write." just do it. Just start doing it. Like, yeah, if someone tells you they can't draw, would your advice basically boil down to, well, just start drawing?
Well, yeah. Or I would say start something small. Start. I mean, heck, if you had to do stick figures, do stick figures. If you
Hmm.
want to just do flowers, do flowers. Like literally, there's no rule. If you want to learn to draw, you have to start somewhere, even if it's like okay, the things that you like to draw. That's it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The same applies to writing. Just write. And you know, don't be so concerned about the quality of your work. Just make it happen, make it real. Make it, as we say, make it exist first and you can make it good later.
Hmm. Yeah, it's great advice. I love it. I like how this episode has turned into us giving advice to people that want to start doing this because, yeah, again, we want more people to do fanfic.
Yeah. Basically, Malik and I are saying that if we make a season 3, we would really like to have some fan writing to talk about by that point.
So, yeah, all you writers out there, or all you aspiring writers, pick up the pen.
Or the people who are already writers, we would like it if you also wrote some for this as well. Any comments you'd like to make, Gia?
I I'd say go wild with it. Have fun. Maybe make ship fanfics.
Hell yeah.
Like, okay, kind of the undercurrent behind all of my fanfics is that Null and D13 are a couple. It's kind of a very implicit thing.
Hmm.
I have not gone for like the explicitly very romantic fic, like the ones I did when I was 15, 16, 17, which were
Hmm.
like very clearly aiming at strictly that.
Hmm.
But, you should, if you
I,
want
th-
to.
I think, yeah, the tough part about that is that I think there's just so very little to go on
Mm-hmm.
in the canon that I think that there is this implied relationship there, but there's not enough to really like you'd really have to go off the beaten path to kind of flesh that out into a romance, you know? Because there's just so little,
There is
so
so
little.
little. The thing is, because we know so little about the characters themselves, because the characters themselves, like the ships, are not really the focus of the story. Like, they're the visitors, but like we don't learn any much about them. There is kind of a very little in a way of like a shared consensus about who these characters are.
Hmm.
Like, if it was a very story driven game which had like fixed characters, we would all be like, okay, well, we all know who the character is and what the relationship like. Because we don't have that here, everyone basically just comes up with their own idea of who Null is, who D13 is. Everyone
Yep.
has to come up with headcanons because there's nothing else. And on the one hand, that's amazing. We get lots of different character designs and characterizations,
Hmm.
but it does mean that there can be very little in common between these. So I could write a romantic fanfic about Null and D13, and then like 2 months from now we could get someone who also does that, but they're completely different Null and D13, and it's a completely different relationship because, like, well, the game has so little that neither of our fics, despite being so different, are contradicted by the source material.
Yep. Yep. All we know is somebody gave somebody else a watch.
Yep. Which, that in and of itself is a meaningful act, but it can be interpreted in so many different ways. Still one of my favorite moments.
Yep. Even with the release of Into Oblivion, that like the secret ending and the ending of Nolan D13's tale, I think is still the kind of the pinnacle
Mhm.
of the game
I
for
think
me.
it is, but because it is about the two of them. A lot of the other endings, uh, F4 ending, the Loop 13 ending, they're very cool, but they're not about the characters you're playing as. It's about
Yeah.
the constructs or the creatures or the gods or the whatever that that the facility holds, and you defeat them. But like, you don't really interact with them, and you don't have a conversation with them. You just defeat them and they're gone, and then you're trapped. Whereas the secret ending is like, well, you actually get to have some conversation there. You get to know something about them. It only serves to make the ending even more tragic, but it at least fills in a gap.
Yeah.
That's why it's still the emotional climax of the game, even though there have been two whole basically expansions since then have not managed to top that moment.
Nope. I've said this before, but I really hope like this piece just reminds me that I would love it if someday there was a Star Providence coffee. And also, as I've said before, I'm definitely going to make one when I own my own cafe someday. Or I don't know, maybe I'll just get a roaster and start making my own Wareheim coffee.
You would have to ask Alex permission for that.
Yeah, I'll spell it with two V's or something. He can't sue me.
Alex is a powerful being, Malachi.
Hey, well, I'll give him some for free. That'll be the trade. Anyway, Nick, thanks again for letting us use your piece.
Mm-hmm.
What if Girl, thanks for coming on to talk to us.
Thank you for inviting me back.
And oh yeah, once again, thank you to the both of you and Seth for reading my piece aloud. It was a lovely gift to see my words narrated and given emotion in a different way.
Yeah, What If Girl, you did a great job. Seth, you also did a great job. It was awesome. Thanks.
Yes,
We appreciate you guys.
very much.
Thanks so much for listening to our Star Providence fan cast. Big thanks as always to Garoslaw and AlexMdle for allowing us to use their music and sound effects in the podcast. Our intro music was made for us by Garo, and we love it. Thanks so much, Garo.
Thank you very much. And you can listen to all of the Surf Providence soundtrack, made by Garo, of course, over at their Bandcamp. There's Volume 1, Volume 2, and the 5th Anniversary Edition soundtrack. Thank you so much for letting us use this, Garo. And thank you as well, Gia, for being on here. Where can people find you if they want to see some of your work?
Blue Sky, Tumblr. Click my link tree for any other places you can visit me. But yeah, that's basically the places you can find me.
We will have links to those things in the show notes.
If you have any comments or suggestions for the show, you can reach out to us on our Discord server. We'll post a server link in the show notes.
And there you will find fellow pellets to talk with and discuss the show. Thanks for listening. We'll hope you'll join us next time.
This is what you came for, isn't it?
Yeah, that's you.
Oh, so be it. I wasn't sure if it was for me or for Nick.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Sorry, we didn't remind you.